Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, say hello when you come on. 100%. This is Tuesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Y'all don't be trying to fool me. Okay, don't be doing it. Um, so I got up today, decided, you know what? Normally I come down here and do this and then I go walk. But yesterday it rained all day, so like I didn't get to go outside and walk. So so I decided I was just gonna get right up after handling some texts and some phone calls and all of that, and I was gonna go walk because Lee had some coaching to do this morning. So I went out and I did that, and I got about 4,000 steps in, which is great. And I had all this energy, and I needed to get some natural vitamin D into my life, thank goodness. And took all my supplements, all the good things. And, and here I am. Here I am. Yeah, yeah. Spent, 46 minutes in the zone this morning. Like when you're walking outside and it's like up and down and up and down, it's like, I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you that my treadmill died? I mean, it's like 11 years old. I guess it would. It's been a really, really um, good treadmill. It's NordicTrack, so very, very good. But yeah, yeah, it just the electrical system. It's not the track. It's not the motor. It is the electrical system. It just poof, poof. It did. So yeah, so like I'm outside a lot more, trying to do some other things. So, yeah, let me see if I can also. I forgot to share this, so hold on. Let me go in and do what I'm supposed to do. I forgot that I was supposed to share things. So let me see. We're going to share this. We're going to share it to a group. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. We'll even share it in there. Why not? Let's just share it in two spaces. Let's do it. Do it to it, as they say. 100%. So hold on one second. Let me get this over on my Onward with Molly page too. That would be good. Sometimes that helps. Sharing. And sometimes I truly believe that Facebook sees that this has to do with Jesus and they just decide to, to not share it. But that's okay. I can deal with that. I let God deal with people like that, right? 100%. 100%. So let me get back to this so I can see your comments, because sometimes I don't see the comments here. There's Lee. There you is. He says, I know, Lee, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's like it's got me blocked or shadow banned or something. I don't think that Facebook likes a lot of Jesus. I think that's what it is. And guys, excuse all this. I just came in from walking. So yeah, good morning. I shared it everywhere, Karen. I did. Thanks for being here. And so yeah, went out again, did that morning walk. Got what 4 or 5 thousand steps in this morning. And hey, Sean, I see you there, baby. I see you. And just um, feeling the ground under my feet. Look, I love, 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 love my treadmill when it was working, right? But there's nothing like walking outside. It gets parts of your body moving that never really get any exercise on a treadmill unless you're on some program that takes you up and down. But it's okay. So and it's just a beautiful day outside. So it was good to be out there. So Sean, I saw you on this morning, my friend. You was like you was ripping into him. I saw you. You make me laugh, Sean. You remind me in my early years. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Lee fixed me some hot tea this morning. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Hi, Gwenda. How are you? That's okay. That's what replays are for, Gwenda. But I'm glad that you're here. 100%. I have to tell you that I had to get a new prayer book or start a new prayer book because it was overflowing. So we got these little ditties when I was in Miami, and so this is where when you all give me prayer requests, see, this is where they all go, and I write down the date that you give them to me so that I can be praying. I can be praying, and it is a gorgeous day. It is, Sean. Um, some of the things, if you have a prayer list, and many of you know the same people I know, right? Britta's dad has got a medical issue going on. They're checking to make sure that whatever this is, they're hoping it's a stone or not cancer. Linda had an unspoken prayer request. Rosie's nephew, Zachary, a prayer for him. I have the backstory on that. Hey, Fran, good to see you, babe. Um, and but I'm not going to disclose all that, but just pray for Rosie's nephew. His name is Zachary. And Monica, who has been sick, Monica P, for her complete healing. She's had it rough for a while. And Penny O's husband is having a double bypass done on April the 3rd. So you guys pray for these people. And if you have a prayer request, always slip it in the comments for me. I am not kidding. I had to get a new book. And what's really cool about me keeping a book is like when something's like boom, boom, or somebody, or they'll come back and be like, Molly, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. I check it off because I know God did something about it, or it's been used for a different way, whatever it is. Guys, even when it's imminent that people are going to lose, they're older folks, and you just know that their body is just tired, and they're on getting ready to that next transport to heaven. Even those things, right? Like it hurts and it's sad and it's a mourning process. But like when you know where they're going, that they're going to go to heaven, you're like, but I'm going to see them again one day. And I hurt so bad when we lose people, and it crushes your heart because they're not here in the moment. But if you don't know you're going to see them again, whew, can I just say, I don't know how you're okay with that. Like I gotta know that that person knew Jesus, and not just knew who he was, accepted him and as their Lord and Savior. And I can't imagine doing life, doing business, having relationships without God somewhere in it. And even though we should be centered, I'm kind of good at pushing him to the side sometimes. That's complete honesty, right? Like I know better than God, right? No, Molly, you don't. But sometimes I think I do in the moment. Um, so yeah, so the prayer requests, I just love it. Sean says, yeah, I had enough. Sean, I hear you, man. I was watching it this morning while I was getting dressed, getting ready to go outside. I was like, no, no, no. I got to like answer him. I got to let him know that I was on here, right? Like I have to let him know what I think about that, blah, blah, blah. Because I've been there so many times myself. And, Sean, I still stick with, Mel Robbins. I love that she wrote that book, and I would put this book in there for everybody. Um, Two books that I would recommend. Number one, Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. If you struggle with people and people's opinions and how people treat you and this and that, let them. Three books. Then there, of course, is Liza Turkirsch, who, of course, we do our devotionals with right now. But she has another one that's called Boundaries, and setting boundaries for people who want to gaslight you and they're narcissistic, or they step all over you, and half the problem is you let them, right? That one. And then of course that I cannot, Life Journey, I cannot, Lauren Ridinger's book, Scrambled or Sunny Side Up, Getting Back Up, what to do when people don't believe you, don't believe in you, and people want to see you go down and not get back up even when you were at your weakest, and you wonder, I can't take all this stuff that's going on in life too. What are people thinking? They're not trying to give me a hand up. This book, and this is only the first part, but this book, Scrambled or Sunny Side Up, I never look at eggs the same. after reading this book. Been gifting a lot of those, which is just a joy to be able to gift those for sure. Um, let's jump into this. And look, again, I've had some people ask me if I would do this in the evenings, and I have to tell you guys something. I ain't got time. I don't have time. I have gotten back to Friday nights with Molly, which is great, but that's taking place in my group. Fran, yeah, and Fran, you can still go for that book too. You can get it anywhere. You can get it Amazon. You can get it Barnes and Nobles. But you can also get it. You can get it at scrambled or sunnysideup.com. You can also get it there too. Fabulous book. I've been giving some of these away on my Friday night streams along with products and stuff, which is kind of cool. But that Friday nights only happens in my group. That the Onward with Molly. I'm going to try again to put this on here and do it. Hold on one. If you are not a part of my group, you should be, right? I don't understand. You should be. Can you believe that somebody is actually ringing my doorbell? Oh, well, they're just going to have to stand out there. I don't know what to say. Boundary King. Yes, Lee Bibb, you are. Let me see. Onward, the next chapter. I don't know if it's going to let me do this or not. No, it doesn't look like it's going to. Onward. Oh, yes, it is. Here, boom. New group. So we have this for the new group. So if you want to be part of that, obviously the Onward, the next thing. So that content, just ignore that. They just don't get it. So we're going to talk about this morning about when you're scared. We are. Being scared is definitely something that happens in everybody's life. Everybody's life. And if you say that you haven't been scared or fearful, obviously that's a lie, right? That is obviously, you're not in the new group yet. Oh, Gwenda, go back and ask again because maybe I just missed it. I try to check that every day. But if it says it's still pending, leave it. It just means I haven't seen it. I don't know when you did it. But yeah, would love to have you there. And look, we get the same sort of thing there. It's inspiration, it's joy, it's help. It's a lot of what I'm doing in my new business too. It's helping people supplement their lives and to feel better. It's people who want to keep up with my journey and I want to keep up with theirs. And you know, Facebook's so big, you get lost in Facebook, right? Like, I will have people's posts show up that it says they put these up 5 days ago, a week ago. And I'm like, why is this just now coming up in my feed? Why didn't I see it? But that's just how social media is. So I feel like in a group where you have less people, that those who want to keep up with each other, I have always loved that. With my Onward, no matter what group, it was fabulous. Even though it was Avon centered, it was definitely a tribe feel. It was. Everybody just cared for one another and helped one another. And that is what we're kind of going for now. Hey, Stephanie, I see you there, baby. It's not catching Stephanie's thing either here. How about that? That's crazy. Oh, there she is. Okay. Just came up late. Good to see you, Steph. So why that new group? That's why. It's Onward, the next chapter. That's what it is. It's the next chapter of my life, and it's going well. But let me tell you, as well as life can go, there's still moments when you get scared, right? Let's be honest. I mean, am I wrong? Do you never get scared? Something can happen in business. Something can happen in life. Something can happen with my family. Something can happen. Shoot, I can get up wrong and feel something in my back and go, oh no, and I'm scared because I'm like, AGE, here we come, which is, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I don't want to be the person who is worried about my body and my life and my mind escaping from me. I want to do everything I can do to keep it healthy. That's what I want to do. I wish I had felt that way sooner in my life. I really do. But I've been more mindful of it since I had the cancer scare. That it is up to me to put the right things in my body, and I'm not always good at that. Look, I don't always put the right foods. I don't always exercise all the time. Hey, Vicky, good to see you, babe. I don't always do all the things. Maybe that's why so many of you identify with me, because I think there's a lot of us who don't always do the right things. Believe me, I am very jealous a lot of times of the people who are constantly doing the right things. I wish I had their discipline. I wish I was that person. I just haven't grown up like that yet. That's all. I'm working on it. But what I have learned from listening to Dr. D, and different people is some is better than none. Some is better than none. I remember when I would be like, well, if I couldn't go out and walk 45 minutes, there's no sense in me going and walking. And Dr. D said, why are you doing that? If you can go out for 15 minutes and get a good, nice, brisk walk going, why would you not do that for yourself? Why wouldn't you get out in the air, in the sunshine, and where the birds are, and move your body, even if it's for 15 minutes? 15 minutes is better than none. So I've had to reshape how I think things. It's kind of like when, hey, look, a year ago, 2 years ago, the truth of the matter is, I thought that I was going to be Avon forever, right? And even though I love my Avon tribe, there were different plans there. Life changes, things change. But what I love about being a part of that before was that a door was open for me with Market America, that I could take every skill, every challenge, everything I learned, 21 years of just life and business, and I could bring all that to the table and go, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting with 21 years experience, and I love that. Now sometimes it doesn't I feel like I don't know enough, right? But learning is a great thing, and it makes me more confident once I get what I'm supposed to learn. But with that, there is fear. I know that there are people out there right now who are scared to start anything different. They will stay in a job and they will be completely unhappy. They will let people roll over them. They will believe lies. They will let people use them, abuse them, the whole 9 yards, because they're too scared to even think of anything else. And sometimes we're overly hopeful, right, that things will change. I hear you. You're not alone. Don't think you're the only one who's ever followed that. Hey, Shauna, good to see you, babe. Um, it is most definitely a normal thing to say, I just want it all to be fixed. But what I've learned is, don't ask God to fix it unless you're willing to go the walk with him, go the journey with him, go the mile with him, and sometimes the extra mile. Because sometimes I believe that when we ask God to fix something, what we're really saying is, God, we want you to fix it our way. hmm When people say, God, I want, will you heal this person? And not that God cannot, of course, reach down and, hey, he did miracles the whole time he was here and continue to do miracles. I believe who has. But sometimes healing here on this earth is not in the plan, as much as we hate that, right? But do we say that they were legit not healed? Because I used to say back in the day, God took my mom. I was so pissed. When my mom died, I said, God just took my mom. It destroyed my family. It's never been the same. Let me tell you something. My family didn't need to be the same, but I did not know that then. God did not take my mom. My mom was very, very sick. God received my mom. He received her and he took her into his arms and he healed that sick body and he destroyed all that cancer. And I can imagine that she was probably more healthy in heaven than I ever saw her probably in life. My mom didn't live the healthiest life either, even back in the day. I think what we have going against us now is there's so many additives and everything in foods and everything, and it will get to you if you don't watch it. But we all get scared. We all get scared, and if you look at the verse that's here, I put it in the about. It's from Psalms 91, 1 and 2. And the verse says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust." Man, I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. I um I was reading this earlier today again, reacquaint because I've already finished this, of course, but reacquainting myself with this. And Liza speaks so much truth. This is what she says here. She says, "I leaned over to Art, and Art was her husband, and confessed, I still get scared sometimes." He patiently replied, "Of course you do. Do you want to talk about it, or do you just want to sit here together?" Like you and I talked about in last week's, what we read last week, we have to trust the process of our healing. Through my process, fear has been a challenging chapter of my healing to tackle. When I've been hurt, I get afraid. Trust, guys. You know what I'm saying? Man, when you've been hurt, it's so hard to trust. It's so hard not to get scared. Do you know that when I got divorced the first time, I said I would never get married again? I think everybody says that, but I remember when I said it. It's not because I didn't see that there were good marriages out there. What happened was there were just very few marriages that if I could get married again, that looked like what I would want. Look, when marriage is good for two people, they figure out what's good for them. But when I would look at marriages, a lot of them, and I would go, oh gosh, I don't want that. That's for sure. Um, and it took me 17 years to realize that what I had then was not what I needed. It wasn't good for him and it wasn't good for me, but you know, there was a couple of separations, and I think I was scared to trust again. That's the truth. I just thought I didn't get it right in 17 years. And look, it wasn't all about him, it was about me too. So this is not a bash the guy I was married to, the father of my kids. That's not it. It was me too. I don't know if I trusted myself not to do the same things, the same things the second time around. Would I be a people pleaser in this marriage too? Because it certainly didn't work the first time. So it's scary to go into something new. When I decided to go into a new business, I was scared. I was scared, but what if this business ends up the same as my last business? What if this is just where network marketing is going? I mean, immediately you start thinking all the things. And then I thought, just like one kid is different than another kid, I mean, think about it. I have two boys and I love them both dearly, but they are completely different. They are. Yet they're best friends. Weird, right? They're best friends. They're 7 years apart. But what if I had said, oh, don't want to have any more kids because, this is what happened with this one? I don't think that is always a good thing. Well, hey, Debbie Scott. Your blessing. Please pray heal for me. Debbie, I am putting you on the list right now, my friend. Thank you for saying something. Lee had years and years ago had 2 knee replacements, I remember. Hold on, Debbie. I'm putting you down, honey. And your fibromyalgia flared up. I bet it did with the knee replacement. Yeah, girl, I'll tell you what, the only thing I know of that's helped lead through any of that has been joint support. Joint support is absolutely amazing. It naturally does healing. But I also found out that for people who have things like fibromyalgia, it also seems to calm the symptoms. Calm the symptoms. But Debbie, I am praying for you a complete recovery. Um, and that flare was settled. I remember when my brother Mike used to go into flares, and this is when fibro really wasn't known that well. And because it's not a disease that just shows, it's one of those silent diseases for sure. So, but I remember that I could tell when he had, because he just hurt everywhere, wouldn't golf, wouldn't do anything. So, yes, you are on the list, my friend. So please come and tell us how you're doing, because now everybody pray for Deb Scott, will you please? Knee replacement, her fibromyalgia is flaring. We want to get all this into check. God, you're hearing this. So, Debbie, you're good. You're gonna be good. It's just the journey, sis, getting there, but you're gonna be good. God bless. Um, so yeah, so you're fearful. You're fearful of things, right? I get it, and but you can't think that everything is going to be how the last thing was. That's unpacking in your fear. That's unpacking in your disappointment. That's unpacking in your anger. That is like, I always tell you, feel it, but don't unpack there. Because when you unpack in emotions, anytime you unpack with emotions, it is never a good thing. You're allowed emotions. God gave us emotions, right? But He never meant for you to stay there. He doesn't want you to cry all the time. He doesn't want you to be so happy that nobody thinks they think you're on something, right? Like, how can somebody be happy and up like that all the time? No. The point is, everybody has moments. Um, but they are to express ourselves. Those bad things are not meant to just stay there. So what I'm going to tell you is it's fear is one of those things. Being scared is, and if you feel like you failed at something, or you were part of something not going right, or something failed you, or somebody failed you, you're scared. You don't want a friendship again. You don't want to give that person a chance again. You don't want to do that. We better be happy that Jesus never thought that where we were concerned. That He never said, well, Molly, you messed up. Guess what? You're out. I would have been out a long time ago. Long before I did many bad things that I did in my life, or many stupid things I've done in my life. We better be really glad that, like, He doesn't look at us. And remember, we're supposed to love like He does. We're supposed to love like He does. And that means, and no, that doesn't mean that you let somebody walk all over you. That's not what I mean. But I don't think it's fair to compare somebody who has bad intentions and has no want to change those intentions, that you judge everybody else by those, and so we're fearful of anything. Brahma Lane too. Lee, thank you for putting that on there. Joint support is great. I think Brahma Lane, look, I'm taking that right now. I had dental work done yesterday. Last time that I had dental work done, I ordered bromelain because the healing was not happening fast enough for me. Anything that needs healing, anything that you're trying to rejuvenate and get things moving again, bromelain is a godsend. So I will be taking that for the next couple of days. I took my first dose yesterday, take it again. So all those things are really, really great. Um, it's not lost on me that some of man's first recorded words to God after eating the forbidden fruit were, I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. That's in Genesis 3:10. I related to those words on deep levels. This is Liza talking, y'all. I am afraid to be emotionally naked, exposed, unsure, uncertain, if I will ever get hurt again. Those what if questions snip at the most tender places of my heart, and I wonder if I will be devoured if any of them become devastatingly true. That fear of the future is what makes me whisper to Art, I still get afraid sometimes. Life doesn't come with any guarantees that we won't hurt again. That's true. When I decided to say yes to Lee, I had to decide that Lee and loving again was worth the risk. Isn't that what it comes down to? Is it worth the risk again? Or do you simply, because of fear, should I have decided just not to give love a chance? I'm here to tell you, I'm glad that I saw through my fear and decided, yeah. Now, he had to work on me, ain't no doubt. He had to work on me. Um, but in the end, you have to believe that it doesn't have to be the way it was. Even Jesus reminded us of this too. In John 16:33, it says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Let's read that again. Write that down. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In God, in Jesus, you can have peace. In this world, you will have trouble. He doesn't say, trust in me and you're never going to have trouble again. I don't remember reading it that way. Trust in me. Take heart. I will overcome the world. I will overcome the world. When you've experienced deep hurt, you very much understand the trouble Jesus referenced. And you very much need to know that Jesus has overcome the world. But how do we see that in practical ways right now, in the moment, in this situation, whatever it is that you're going through right now? I love that today's key verse found in Psalm 91 gives us a script to say to ourselves in moments that we get triggered and we're afraid. Because you know that's what it is. Fear is a trigger. It's exactly what it is. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Isn't it interesting that the psalmist describes God here as a refuge and a fortress? A refuge is a quick place you duck into to find shelter. A fortress is a place built intentionally for the purposes of exceptional security. The Hebrew word for fortress is, with one of its definitions, being an inaccessible place. God is not just a quick refuge from the storms of life. He's also the place where fear no longer has access to me. Fear can't catch what it can no longer reach. Is that huge? Listen to that. God is not a quick refuge from the storms of life. He's also the place where fear no longer has access to me. Fear can't catch what it can no longer reach. To experience this level of peace, though, you got to be near God. It's a nearness we see described throughout Psalm 91 as we are reminded to abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Take refuge under his wings, that's verse 4, and make him our dwelling, verse 9. Just as we must sit close enough to a tree to enjoy the benefit of its shade from the sun's scorching heat, so we must also position ourselves near to God if we desire his comfort, protection, and deliverance. You know what, guys? For the longest time, I felt like the only time I ever communicated with God was when I needed something. Hey, Tasha, good to see you, babe. I remember, when you needed something, oh, God, please, this person has a prayer request, do this. But I was very bad about getting into my devotionals, getting into the Bible, and literally letting God talk to me and to educate me and to love me through his words. And even now, sometimes I get busy and I don't do it the way that I should do it. But I always seem to venture back to it, which is really great. But I love that she compares this to the shade from a tree. Think about it. It's a hot day. It's in the 90s. You're sweating. You've been walking, maybe like I just was, walking and getting in that 5,000 steps, right? And it's hot and it's miserable. And you see a tree and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful shade tree ever. But you just keep standing in the sun. You're standing 7-8 foot away from it, right? Like, if you want the shade, if you want the benefit of that shade tree, you must move close to the tree, under the tree, so that the shade will then block that hot sun, so that it's not beaming down on you, right? How true is that about God? That you're like, but I don't feel God. I'm praying, but I don't feel God. Is this because you're only praying when you need something from Him? Or are you praying? Are you experiencing a closeness? Because if you want to be close to Him, you've got to get close to His Word. You've got to talk to Him. I find that I talk to God all the time like normal conversation. I'm not just talking about the Bible like, well, God, this is what's on my plate today. I'm not even sure how I'm going to get through it. Hey, Roger, good to see you. I don't know how I'm going to get through this day. And, you know, by the way, I've already had incidents today that, to be honest, made me want to say, I am in no shape to be doing a devotional this morning for my friends. And I just kept walking. I kept walking, guys. When I told Lee, I knew Lee had a coaching session this morning. And I knew something, and I know he thought it was strange that he knew I had Molly's Moments with Jesus. And I was talking about going out. I never go out and walk before this. It's always afterwards. If I walk on Tuesdays at all, because I have a lot of Zooms on Tuesdays. And it had already started. The day had started, and the textings had started, and the issues had started. And I just thought, my mouth was still hurting a little bit from the dental work yesterday. And I'm like, hey, Rosie, good to see you, baby. And I just thought, I don't know if I have this in me. I just need to walk. And he was just like, okay, go walk. And I did. I grabbed my ear pods and I grabbed my phone and put that part on Do Not Disturb. And I let the praise music, and I just thought, God, the only way this day is going to be what it should is for me to let you have control. Because so far, it is not good. Hey, Janetta. Mwah. Good to see you, my friend. I just kept walking. As a matter of fact, Lee would be proud of me. He wasn't with me today because he was doing the coaching. But like, I did four laps today. But I added this cul-de-sac that we used to walk under. But I've been working back up to walking again, right? And I just kept walking, and I thought, and the more and when I did that extra lap, I was really like, I don't know if I want to do this extra lap. But I did, because I was just like, I need to pull this together. I need to give this to God. I need to let God take this day and take this lousy, crappy morning and how it started, and I need to just give it to Him and not hold on to it. And just know it's gonna be okay. One way or another, it's gonna be okay. Hey, Tasha, I know, right? Like, girl, I'm trying. 61, but I had to do something with this energy. This, besides everything else, Tasha, this Go Trim Thin, I've got like all this like added like like, you know. Between that and the lion's mane and that stuff, like my brain is going and everything's going, and I'm just like, I just got to do something with all this energy. So I figure that's what I do, right? But here's what I'm saying. Let's get back to back to the whole tree God thing. Listen, I believe that just like if you want shade from the sun, you can't stand over and admire the tree. You've got to get close to the tree. You got to let it get close enough to provide the shade. If you want God to take care of your fear, if you want God to be able to help you through these things when it's a struggle, have you thought about maybe bringing him close when life is good? Have you thought maybe about saying, man, God, thank you. No matter how the morning started, this is just a morning. And it's going to be okay. There's going to be better moments, better days. And God, by the way, thank you for life. Thank you for this walk. Thank you that unlike a lot of people who are 61, I have the ability to do what I'm doing right now. And when I think about things like this, like live streams, can I be honest with you? Years ago, when I first started doing live streams and YouTube videos and things like that, and then of course now we have reels and stories and all this stuff, can I be honest? It didn't start out so good in the beginning. I was scared. I didn't know if anybody would be interested. I didn't know if I would just be talking to myself. So you know what happened? I had to get okay with talking to myself. Like, self, you need me. I'm going to talk you into how you need to be a better person and leave the baggage behind and set your boundaries and work business. And like when I would be like, you need to be consistent with what you're doing. See, people would get pissed at me when I was like, who is she to tell me to be consistent? No, sister, I was looking at me. I'm not looking at you. I was telling me to be consistent. Y'all think that I just knew your every move. I did not know your every. I was fearful of failure too. So I was like, get out there and get it done. If you are fearful that you're never going to have customers, if you are fearful that you'll never have a team member, if you are fearful that you will never have decent friends, or that you can have a great family, blood or otherwise, get out there and do something. Make yourself better. Work on you, because when you are better, better things will come. When you are in tune with God, He will get you through the valley. He did not say you would not have valleys that would scare you, and that you would fall and you would trip and you would be like, but I don't understand. Last month I felt better. Baby, it's a valley. It's not going to last forever. The only way you stay in the valley is if you quit walking. The only way you stay in how you feel right now is if you stay in those feels. The only way you stay where you're at is if you decide you're going to stay there. It is only a valley, and it may happen for a week. It may happen for a day. It may happen for a month. It may happen for 6 months. It may happen for a year, maybe a year or two. But I promise you, if there is progress in your journey and you are walking it with Him, you are going to be closer to being out of the valley instead of stuck right where you entered it. See, I was just talking to me, because that's what I needed this morning. Now, do I hope that you needed to? Of course I do. Of course I do. Do I hope that it helps somebody? Of course I do. But in the end, I can only talk to you about what I've lived and what I've experienced and what I have helped people with because of my journey. My journey hasn't been easy. Listen to me. I would have been no use to you if I had had an easy journey. I need you to know that. I would have nothing to talk about with you if my journey had been easy. But let me tell you something. 35-year-old me, 25-year-old me could not see that then. Because God decided that He had to give me 40 years of experience and let me walk through all those valleys until he gave me a platform and people who needed it to hear my journey. So don't feel sorry for me. Don't say, "Oh, I wish that you did." Yes, no, you needed me to. Because in this moment somewhere you're going to say, "I'm not alone. I am not alone. Somebody else knows how I'm feeling. I'm your person." Let's move on. Ooh, that was a big one, right? Whew. Okay. It's not that bad things won't ever happen to us. Life is rarely tidy. Relationships aren't easy. And the constant stresses and strains of managing and navigating so many daily issues are hard on the human heart. I can find myself feeling 1 minute like I'm doing really well and keeping my heart swept clean and everything is going great, no bitterness, no fear, right? And the next minute feel like a complete failure. Have you ever been there? Like I woke up no lie. I woke up this morning in a fabulous mood. I did. Don't know why. Just did. And in 3.7 seconds, it was gone. And I immediately felt worthless for 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all it took. Failure, worthless, not making people happy, maybe never doing things right or how people expect you to do it. I had a choice. I could stay and turn that 7 minutes into 7 hours, or I could get out and I could walk and feel the sunshine and walk it off. Because just doing this wasn't helping, so I needed to walk it off. Old triggers beg us to give in to fear of what could be around the next corner. But as a child of God, I know I'm not supposed to live with fear taunting and terrorizing me. And as I've sat with these feelings, I've come to the conclusion that the goal of having the peace Jesus referred to in John 16:33 isn't perfection, it's progress. Not perfection, progress. I'm learning to make progress with my fear. I know now I can feel afraid, but I don't have to live afraid of the future. I can be present in this day without fear of tomorrow stealing my peace today. I can only attend to what's right in front of me now. I must trust God to hold the future. The sign of progress is to let the fear drive you to remember God and run to Him instead of forgetting Him and letting your fear take over your mind and your heart. When fear comes, use it as an opportunity to form the new healing habits and perspectives that we're discovering. What are they? Have one better thought. Just one. One better thought. Have one better reaction. Just one. Have one better way to process. Just one. Have one better conversation. Just one. Have one better boundary you lovingly communicate and consistently keep. Just one. Have one better choice to not reach for that substance, that pill, that Xanax, that Wellbutrin, whatever it is, to say, I know I don't want to do it this way. Just one. Have one better heart pivot towards forgiveness instead of resentment. Just one. Have one better situation where you make fear bow to your trust in God. Just the first time. Come on, you can do it. Have one less day where you stay afraid or mad or frustrated. Have one less hour when you refuse grace. Because see, we forget to show ourselves grace sometimes. We're really hard on ourselves. I know me. I'm so good at telling people, show yourself some grace. But I'm not so good sometimes at showing myself grace. I look back and I realize we will never do this journey perfectly. But as we step forward, I realize imperfect progress is good. So very good. We are meant, y'all. We are meant for progress, not perfection. Fear is always going to be part of it. Just make it an emotion. Don't unpack there. Tasha says, went down and out. Friend listened to. Sure been good by Elevation. Ah, awesome, awesome, awesome song. Yeah, I love Elevation Worship. My gosh. Everything they do. I sometimes it's like they make me jump my steps. Sometimes my time is a whole lot better in my walk when I listen to them, Tosh, for sure. Guys, you know what my very favorite story has been? I think it's only been out 2 or 3 years. Still to this day, my favorite song, since Tasha's bringing up songs. God is in this story. Do you know that when I'm having a bad day, I will blare this in my speaker upstairs? God is in this story. Because I have to believe, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, valley or mountain, journey through the valley, journey up the mountain, mountaintop, whatever that looks like, that God is in the story. Bad days and good days. But will you be the person, if God is the tree, who stands there and admires what a beautiful shade tree it is? Or will you actually stand under the tree and take the shade, take the love of that tree, shading you from that hot sun? God is there. I challenge you. Build that relationship with him. Stop using him just when times are bad, just when you're hurting. Start telling him what you're thankful for today. And even if the rest of the day goes wrong, start it. Again, I told you, when I journal, the end of my journal, each entry is 3 things that I'm thankful for. On a bad day, 3 things are hard to come up with. Can I tell you? Yo, it is. It's hard. But I always do it. So I challenge you, do that. Do that. And look, if you're listening to the replay, and I hope that this has helped you. If not, don't worry. I'm talking to myself, so it's hurting. It's helping me. Okay, because I obviously needed this today. If your morning has already felt topsy-turvy, your afternoon doesn't have to be. The next moment doesn't have to be. Stop thinking that you're getting everything you deserve. And give it to God, and choose that you want better. And it may not show up today, but it's not going to show up if you stay in that moment either. I wish you an amazing week. For many of you, I will see you Friday night, Friday nights with Molly and the Onward the Next Chapter group. Feel free to join that. You have to answer the questions. Even if I know you, if you don't answer the questions, you're not getting in. Golly days, y'all cannot follow instructions. Y'all hard-headed like me. Oh my goodness. Inez! Hey, Inez! Inez says you've always been still the most encouraging person. Oh, Inez, I love you, my friend. Yeah, I love you. To the moon and back, sister. Probably further than that, too. So okay. So, if you're going to go play April Fool's jokes, be nice. Be nice. Don't, wreck somebody's world with them, okay? But, do what you got to do. I love you. I pray for you. I pray for you as a group. If you're on my prayer list because you've given me something, then you're on my prayer list. And if you want better, go forth and be better. It's up to you. You don't have to stay stuck there. You don't. Fear, I could tell you what the songs all say. Fear is a liar. But when you hand your fear over to the Almighty, it doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look as bad. Love you guys. Have a great week. See you next week.